This is Arnold. Welcome to my channel. So today we're going to look at cryptocurrencies in 2045. So just a little bit background information. As of today, 2020, there are 5,500 cryptocurrencies. And what most of those cryptocurrencies aim to try and do is to have a project under each of them. So we're just going to look at a couple of them. So the first one that we're going to look at is Ethereum. So Ethereum is best known for smart contracts. And the other one is XRP. XRP is known for banking products or financial services products. For example, faster payment systems and all that. The other thing is the Pillar token, which is well known for the Pillar wallet. So the Pillar wallet basically aims at bringing in under a single roof all the information that one considers important. For example, your money, your personal information, and which should also include information that most marketers seek in order to try and market things to you. So with the Pillar wallet, they aim to enable the information owner to have custody of that information and only release it to people that he authorizes. So you find that the such information has become quite valuable to most marketers, while the owner of the information gets nothing out of that. But with the Pillar wallet, if you intend to get any monetary benefit for giving out that information, that will be on the discretion of the information owner. So in short, what cryptocurrencies aim to do is to move us from the current system into a new system, whereby smart contracts will be the way we do business. For example, if I want to, have a recurring payment sent out to a particular retailer, I can be able to set that up, and that can happen for as long as the smart contract exists. Exists. The other thing, which should be determined by the duration I want to have for it. The other thing is, for example, things like title deeds. In certain countries, there have been cases whereby even though the authority, the authority that issues a title deed has particular information as what is on a title deed, or has a particular person as the owner of a piece of land, that can be changed through other ways. But if all those is set on a smart contract, then that information cannot be changed at all. So that is a system that the cryptocurrencies aims to move us to. That is a current system into a new system. All right, so welcome back to 2045. So today we're going to look at the prices of some of the dominating cryptocurrencies. So the first one is the Bitcoin. So one Bitcoin is worth 350,000 US dollars. The second most dominant crypto is Ethereum, which one Ethereum is worth 10,000 US dollars. The third most dominant crypto is XRP. One XRP is worth 300 US dollars. So what does it mean for one Bitcoin to be worth 350,000 US dollars? So basically, for one Bitcoin to be worth that much, that means that the market capitalization, or the money that is in Ethereum, is in Bitcoin, is to the tune of 5.4 trillion US dollars. So what that basically means is that there's a lot of money that has flowed into Bitcoin. And remember that as money flows into Bitcoin, even though it's the dominant crypto, it flows into the other cryptos, starting with the next dominant cryptocurrencies, and it goes on like that. And even some of the cryptocurrencies that were worth cents are now worth 100 US dollars or more. So as more money flows into the dominant cryptocurrencies, the other cryptos also benefit from that. The other thing that tells me is that there's more confidence in Bitcoin. the other dominant cryptocurrencies. All right, so let's look at some of the developments in cryptocurrencies in 2045. First one being a lot of money, a lot of liquidity has moved from the other markets, like the derivative market, the stock exchange, into cryptocurrencies. And the other thing is that a lot of the stocks have been tokenized. So with tokenization, what it aims at doing is that it aims at making what was before not quite attainable for others more attainable. Let's take a look at, for example, the Apple stock. That has become so expensive. But with tokenization, it aims at making that much, much more attainable for others to acquire. Second development is that Bitcoin is still the dominant crypto, and with still holding the dominant position, and with Bitcoin still dominating 60% of the entire crypto market capitalization. So the other thing is that the entire cryptocurrencies market capitalization is $9 trillion. So if one Bitcoin is worth 350,000 US dollars, meaning that that is 60% of the entire cryptocurrencies market capitalization. So the entire market capitalization is nine trillion US dollars. So what does that mean? What does it mean for when the entire cryptocurrency market is 9 trillion US dollars? So one thing that means, among other things, is that the cryptocurrencies market has become a formidable alternative market where businesses can raise funds. And one of the ways of raising funds in the cryptocurrencies market is through the initial coin offering, commonly known as the ICOs. So the fourth development in the cryptocurrencies market is that some government-issued cryptos are now available on the cryptos exchanges. Next development is that the Bitcoin reward has now been cut, and the reward for mining one block of Bitcoin is now 0.009765 Bitcoins. One thing you have to remember is that in 2012, the reward for mining one block was 25 Bitcoins. So mining is basically a process whereby cryptocurrencies are created. In other words, it's just computers solving mathematical puzzles. And the first computer to come up with a solution earns a reward. In other words, it earns 0.009765 Bitcoin, which as of today, 2045, it's 0.09765 Bitcoin is worth 34,177 US dollars. So the other thing is with the price of Bitcoin having gone up to 350,000 US dollars, we're hearing a lot of news of a lot of people who have been made millionaires. There's a lot of news about people who bought into Bitcoin when one Bitcoin was the price of Bitcoin was really, really low. Some people who got in when one Bitcoin was 0.03 cents, by just putting 50 US dollars, they ended up with 1,666 Bitcoins, which at the current today's market value comes to 583 million US dollars. The other thing is we're hearing news of people who got into Ethereum when one Ethereum was 0.01, and by just putting 50 US dollars into Ethereum, they ended up with 5,000 pieces of Ethereum. And at today's market rate of one Ethereum being worth 10,000 US dollars, the 5,000 Ethereum pieces are worth 50 million US dollars. The other thing is that we're hearing is people who got into XRP when one XRP was 0.001 cents, but by just putting 50 US dollars into XRP, they ended up with 50,000 pieces of XRP. And with one XRP today being worth 300 US dollars, that the 50,000 pieces is worth 15 million. US dollars. So one thing we're hearing is that a lot of people have been made millionaires as a result of the prices of a couple of cryptocurrencies going up. And there's a lot of news of that. And some of the cryptocurrencies that were worth cents a couple of years back in 2020 are today worth 100 US dollars or more. And there's a lot of news about people who are reaping big. The other development is that Uber and Lyft are now accepting cryptos as a form of payment. The other development is that a couple of restaurants and retail outlets, for example, Walmart and a couple of other stores, are now accepting cryptocurrencies as a form of payment. The other thing is news about the shift in banking. Banking is no longer the way it used to be 20 years ago, which was 2020, with most people becoming their own banks, whereby they basically own their cryptos and they have custody of them. They have the wallets where they keep them. They no longer need middlemen like banks, and by them becoming their own banks, a lot of the most of the banks that are still in existence as of today in 2045 are trying to remain relevant, and some of them are accepting deposits in form of cryptocurrencies. And the other news that you're hearing is that a lot of the blockchains are now, a lot of retail outlets, are now employing blockchains. So a lot of retail outlets are employing the blockchain technology. So what do I mean by that? Basically, for example, if you have a fridge, your fridge now is able to place an order for anything that it's running low on, be it milk or eggs. It just places an order, and the blockchain manages all that, and a retailer sends out the product, and all the payments are done through the blockchain, which maintains a ledger of all the activities, and the retailer sends out what you're running low on through a self-driving car. The other development that we're hearing is that the most wardrobes have become smart wardrobes. So the wardrobes are more interactive, they're more intelligent, and they're able to place orders for any piece of cloth that you're running low on. It takes care of everything. It looks at the latest fashion trends, and it gives you a couple of choices based on your taste, and it's able to place an order just like your fridge is able to place an order on what it's running low on. The smart wardrobes also have that capability. The other development is in the field of investments. For example, investing has become much more easier. A good example is those who have interest in being traders. Most trading activity is carried out by bots, BOTS, which are able to execute numerous trades a couple of times at a more efficient and more accurate ways. And all that they keep their activities is kept in a ledger, and all one does is just sit back and look at how much money is coming into their bank accounts. So trading and investing has become a lot of investments have become passive sources of income. You don't have to lift a hand to do anything. And the other development is that most of the governments out there are now using Bitcoin to settle debts. That is because Bitcoin, the inflation rate in Bitcoin has become so attractive, and in comparison to the regular money, the regular fiat money, fiat has become less attractive as a form of settling debts. So they opted to settle debts using Bitcoin. So those are some of the developments that we're seeing in the cryptocurrencies market. So those are some of the developments that the new system has brought in, the new system that was established by most of the projects in the cryptocurrencies. And if you remember, the sole goal was to move us from the old system whereby which is before cryptocurrencies became part of the day-to-day activities, before cryptocurrencies became accepted as a means of settling or doing day-to-day business. So we have now shifted from the old onto the new system. So with that, we come to the end of this video. Thank you so much for your time. See you on the next video.